Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Mode7, the show where we play games and talk about them. I am your host, Sergmanx, and joining me is the lame and uninterested Monkey Man.
What's going on, Serge, man? Where'd you get that intro from, space?
Oh, he keeps on throwing them digs, but it's okay because we're playing Little Nemo, the Dream Masters on the original Nintendo Entertainment System. So, Monkey Man, what'd you think about Little Nemo?
Okay, so my first impressions, even before my first impressions, I was a little bit iffy about playing the game because I heard the name Nemo and I was thinking about the fish. And you're like, no, Monkey Man, it's not the fish. It's it's Little Nemo Dream Master. And you're like, it's completely different, just try it. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll try it. So I first start playing the game and you're like this little boy in bed and there's like a fairy or something that comes and visits you. And they have like this odd like 4-sentence back and forth dialogue about a princess, and the princess is a girl and it's a she, and I need to kiss her, and like that's gross, and like like this little boy with like the whole like cootie mentality, right? So like I'm trying to get more into the stories as you're introducing me to these games. So then they take like a hot air balloon or something up to like Dreamland. And the first scene of the game is this beautiful scenery with like these mushroom trees and stuff. So you go up to this interesting character and he introduces himself as Flip. And he says that there are tons of different animals here and they'll let you ride them for as long as you want. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to love this game. I could just tell. And I was like so happy because, like I'm not a huge video game person in general. And the last couple of games you gave me, I was just like, Axelay was all right. Mario RPG wasn't really feeling it. It wasn't my type of gameplay. But this one, just a nice side scroller and like with the animals, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. And I've really just loved the game ever since like that first scene and playing the whole game the whole time. I just really loved every single thing about it. I was so happy you got me to play this one.
Oh, you liked it a lot.
Yeah. Did you not get that from my whole explanation?
Well, I mean, you kind of went on for a while, so I mean, you like it though, right?
Fair enough. Yeah. Put you to sleep. That's fine.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. Like the opening stage, after you talk to Flip, and then you get to control Nemo in that gorgeous mushroom forest, and the music is fantastic.
Yeah, love the music.
Great soundtrack, and you're walking around, and the gimmick is with the riding the animals is you feed them candy and you'll find out whether or not they like it or not. So if they do like the candy and they eat a couple of pieces, then you just go on top of them, and then you can either you turn into them or you ride on top of them, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And yeah, like when I first heard that, like you could ride any of the animals in there, like the first thing you come across is like a snail with like a spiked shell. And so I tried throwing the candies at it and it like just kind of like shook and vibrated. And I'm like, okay, I don't really know. But then as I started playing the game, I realized, oh, okay, you can't ride every animal. It's just certain animals. So then you come into like a frog type animal and you need to throw him 3 candies. And then he falls asleep and then you kind of like go inside his mouth and like you kind of wear him as a costume as you're, so-called riding him. And, I think it's funny that Flip said, just feed the animals 3 candies and they'll let you ride them. But if he fell asleep, like that's kind of not really consensual. No,
he just kind of shoved his body into the mouth. Like I can only imagine what the reaction of the frog is when he like wakes up during that process.
Yeah. But I like that. But I like that too, that you could just hit select at any time, and Flip said that also. You hit select when you're done riding him. I love that there's a multitude of different animals, and each different animal has like different health that goes along with it and different abilities. So that's really cool.
Definitely. And to complete the stage, it's not about getting to the end of the level. You have to find these keys that are scattered throughout the level. And what's great about this candy mechanic is you have to use different animals and creatures to explore every inch of the level to find these keys. So it leads to a lot of exploration.
Yeah. Exploration of the map, exploration of seeing which animals have which abilities and stuff. And like, it wasn't difficult to the point where I'm like, I could choose from 3 different animals and then which one would be good for where. It was pretty like linear and self-explanatory, and it was really cool. So which was your favorite animal?
I actually really liked the frog, only because you can use him in a variety of different ways. He jumps really high, and you could pretty much jump on every enemy, unlike some of the other animal transformations that you get.
Right.
The mole was cool, but he couldn't jump. So as soon as at least in the first level, when you get the key, he was pretty much useless after that.
Yeah, he was only good for that one little part. And I think the mole only appeared once in the whole game, correct?
Probably. I don't remember him outside the first level. And the chameleon from the first stage, I liked how he scaled the wall. Although I didn't like that he couldn't kill enemies. You really don't find out the limitation of the animal until you try to do something, and then you kind of like fail and lose health.
Right. And then, so, my favorite was the gorilla. So, he had the most amount of health, too. He had 5 health bars. He could climb trees vertically, and he could jump, and he could punch, which was really cool. And then also, the bumblebee was pretty awesome because, like, you could fly, but like it was great too that it wasn't so cheap where like you could just fly anywhere, whatever. Like there was almost like a stamina to your flying ability. So it gave a little bit of restriction, and it made you had to use a little bit of skill and strategy to get to some points in the game.
Do you know what is cheap though?
Talk? Pussy?
No.
Space?
Stage? Yikes! Let me tell you it's cheap. Stage 2. After I got to Stage 2, I couldn't finish Stage 2. And I greatly disliked the game playing Stage 2.
What? Why? What was so hard about Stage 2?
I hated the game after Stage...
Get out
actually,
of here.
Stage 1's fantastic. Stage 2 is garbage. Poor level design. I stopped playing after Stage 2.
Wow.
Dude, so, you're going through the level. Everything's fine. You can control Donkey Kong, give him candies, right? So you're controlling Donkey Kong, you're going around, and, you realize there's really no place to go with Donkey Kong. And, I jumped off into the spikes. I realized, okay, that doesn't work. So eventually I figured out, you can climb the tree, right? And then there's these stupid, parachuting, enemies.
Yeah.
And they even knew, the developers knew that was a garbage gameplay section because they left all these little health as you scale in the tree.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no way to avoid these things. It was all to get the chameleon up there. So I couldn't even make it up there with full health. It was annoying. It was tedious. I stopped playing the game after that. I was doing that for a good while, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I made it past that. I finished the game. I beat the game. I loved it. I loved everything. Those things were really difficult. They were kind of like dandelions after they turned white and like you could blow them. It was kind of like that, but it almost had the face of Jack from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
And so what they would do, they would follow you wherever you went, but at a certain point when they were a certain distance above your head, they would start to fall straight down. So part of the key to beating them was to lure them somewhere where you didn't exactly have to be, and then once they started coming straight down, like you move away, and then like you'll be able to dodge it. But soon after you dodge one, the next one comes, and it could get kind of difficult.
The problem is, you really don't have too much control over Donkey Kong. As soon as I try to jump to the other tree branch, he would just stick to the tree, doing exactly the opposite of what I wanted him to do.
Yeah.
And it just got very annoying because I would keep dodging these floating things, and then they just endlessly respawn. It was just extremely, extremely tedious.
Yeah, that was pretty difficult. And I did have some issues with the tree as well. So it was like sometimes when I wanted to jump onto the trunk of the tree to climb vertically, it would allow me to do it. Other times I would jump to the limb on the other side of the trunk of the tree. I didn't really know why, or vice versa. And so what I figured out was when you're standing away from the trunk of the tree and you're jumping towards it, then he'll grab on the trunk of the tree. If your body is like, a quarter or halfway into the front of the trunk of the tree, and then you jump to the other side, then it would let you jump to the other limb. So I kind of wish they explained that better in the game too, because that was kind of difficult for me to figure out. You would think in a game like this, when you come up to something like that, then it would be like, if you hit over and jump, it would just go to the next limb across the tree trunk. But if you hit up and jump, then like it would latch onto the tree to let you climb up. Like there would be like some sort of different button combination to allow you to do something different, but that was a little odd.
Now, if the gorilla could attack while on the tree, like say it was floating down towards you and you're scaling up and you can like punch, then that would have been fine.
Yeah, okay.
I think that would have mitigated a lot of the issues, but I was doing that for a good while and I just got fed up. Maybe one day I'll return to that section and try to get further than that, but I was just kind of done with it after that part.
Wow. So so I actually started playing the game twice after I beat it because I just really love the game so much. I love the bosses, like everything. Like it's so cool. I love how it's whimsical, like just everything about it. It was great to me. But after my second time of starting to play that, I did get to that part again with the tree in stage 2, and I was having some problems getting past it, and I was just like, all right, let me put it down for my second play because we have other games on the list of things to play as well. So yeah, I definitely do know what you mean about like that part being kind of a joy kill.
So would you say that was really the only instance in the game where something like that happens? Everything else is pretty much fine, or were there other moments like that?
There were a couple other moments where I had some difficulty. There was one moment with the lizard where it was like hard for me to jump onto the next platform and I wasn't sure quite which way to go. There was one part where I was the bee and I couldn't find like one of the keys. Like there's just like a few like whatever video game type challenges, but overall like none of them were strong enough to change my opinion about the game.
Wow, this is a first. I think this is the first episode where you really like the game and I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. And like, so you've played this one before though, right? You just haven't beaten it ever.
I played it as a kid at like a family friend's house, and I only really remember the first stage, and I really liked what I played. I don't remember ever getting past there, so I'm kind of disappointed about the second stage hazard, but that really was just like a huge turnoff to me.
Okay, so yeah, later in the game, what happens is like you advance your stages, and someone gives you like a magic wand that you could use. So you could hit select and change from the candies to the wand. And then like you could smack people with the wand, or like you could if you hold the button, you could like shoot a beam to these enemies and the bosses.
Oh wow. So you could actually attack as the kid.
Yeah, it was awesome. I really like hope that you try to like beat that part, after you take a break from it but come back to it, and like dude, the game's so worth playing like once you beat that part.
If you enjoyed this episode of Modeseven, give it a like and comment below your thoughts on today's topic. Please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that bell to be notified when the next Sergmanx video drops. Have a good day and peace out.